for Spiritual Living. I'm Bonnie, Reverend Bonnie Rose, and it's great to see you here today. Also great to know that we've got people watching at home online. I suspect there are a lot of people watching at home today in their pajamas, but thank you all for springing ahead with us and for showing up here in person. It's great to see you. A few announcements, but the first announcement I want to make is that Chris Kimbler, our regular pianist, I was going to say our normal pianist, but anyway, sorry. He is playing a rehearsal over in Camarillo at one of his shows. So we have the pleasure of having Ms. Lori Sunshine filling in for Chris today. Thank you. All right. And let's see, here's a few announcements. Anything that I'm about to read is going to be on our website, www.venturacsl.org. And also, if you've got questions about the center, we've got ambassadors here. They're wearing teal stoles. I think they're in the front right now. But if you see somebody with a teal stole, you can ask them any question you'd like about the church or anything, really. Let's see, we've got opportunities to serve. We're particularly looking for a few more greeters right now. So if you'd like to greet, shake hands, give hugs, please talk to Ms. Bernie Austin, who's up front, and just talk to anybody. We'll point you in the right direction. We have a wonderful choir, Hearts in Harmony. They are rehearsing on Sundays from 11:30 to 12:30. If you'd like to join the choir, everyone is welcome. So speak with Mary Kerrigan, who's our choir director. We are also hosting a weekly group called Science and Spirituality. That is March 19th this month. It's the third Wednesday. And the book that we have is You Are the Placebo by Joe Dispenza. One more announcement. We have a flower dedication this morning. The flowers this morning are dedicated to Lonnie Cassidy on her birthday. Lonnie, thank you so much for being an amazing board president and a wonderful friend. Stay forever young. Where there is a dumpster, Lonnie likes to be jumping in it. So anyway, thank you, Lonnie, and happy birthday. Okay, and now here's Bill Hadris. He's going to lead us in the youth message.
Youth, come join me.
Yay, Kaya!
Good morning.
Good morning.
As Bonnie said, I'm Bill Hadris with Youth and Family. Can you think of a time you noticed how someone was feeling?
No. Okay.
Can't think of someone? Well, think about how someone was feeling. And think about what you did. Were they sad? Were they angry? Were they mad? I've got a couple more.
Hey, kiddos.
Hey, guys.
Good to see you.
Can you guys think of a time you noticed how someone was feeling? No? Okay. Fair enough. Well, when we notice others and pay attention to their feelings instead of our own, we can respond with compassion. One of the most important lessons in our spiritual teaching is that there is no separation between God and us. So we are all one with God. It is the inexhaustible supply of good within us. Fear does not have to have any power over us. When we feel fear, remember, we are love and respond with compassion. We then find peace. We become an ambassador of kindness, both to others and to ourselves. Remember, our greatest teacher is within us. So I invite you all to repeat after me. Love begins with me.
Love begins with me.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. Thank you. All right. Thanks, everyone. So let's go ahead and we'll have some prayer from our practitioner, Mark Lager.
Practitioners and ministers, please stand as we support this congregation. Knowing that there is only one of us here, that there is only God, there's only an intelligence and energy that surrounds us and flows through us. And I know that I am part of that energy. I know that I am an expression of this divine beloved. I am an expression of the energy and the creativity that has brought us here. And as I know it for me, I know it for each and every one of us gathered here. Everyone throughout this world that is an expression of the divine. I know that this service is blessed. I know that everything about this day is just as it should be. The words we hear on compassion, the music by Laurie Sunshine. Each of us gathered here, brought together by divine appointment. I'm so thankful, so very thankful for being here, for this life that is mine, and the life of all of those who are part of my life, our life in this center. I am grateful for everything as it is. And so I plant my word deep within the mystery of the law. And together we say, and so it is.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark. So let us continue to stay in this meditative place, breathing, allowing ourselves to be, breathing in and breathing out, and recognizing truly that there is only that one perfect life that Mark spoke of, that life is the life of spirit. And as we inhale and exhale, we recognize that life is our life right here and right now. This life goes by many names: energy, universe, God, I am, higher power. All of these names are names for the oneness that connects us, that draws us into its benevolent compassion, that lives and moves and has its perfect being through each of us. And so today, in just a moment, we'll sing our chant, I am remembering who I am. And as we sing it, we'll know that we're singing it not only for ourselves, not only for remembering the presence of the I am, God, spirit, love, harmony, whatever we call it. We remember that in ourselves as ourselves, but we also remember it for all beings everywhere because we are one. Together we sing for ourselves and the entire cosmos, I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering. I am remembering. I am remembering who I am. I am love. I am remembering who I am. I am abundance. I am remembering. I am remembering. I am remembering who I am. I am hope. I am remembering who I am. I am peace. I am remembering. I I am joy. I am remembering who I am. I am kindness. I am remembering. I am remembering. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. In the loving remembrance, in the knowing of the I am presence within us, let us breathe in deeply and then exhale, gently opening our eyes as love, and in service to what is, as it is, and so it is.
Rarely piece of chant and prayer on my harp this morning before the sermon.
So anyway, thank you. You did great. You did great.
Oh, thank you, Bonnie. All right, I hope you enjoy it. It's a healing harp. That's what it's.
Thank you, Lori. Really appreciate it. Thanks. Oh, again. Yay. Right. Oh, beautiful. So the message this morning is called The Paradoxical Power of Compassion. And I'm going to start with a story, as I often do. There was an elderly monk that arrived in India, and he was fleeing a devastating prison experience in Tibet. The monk, upon his arrival, spoke with the Dalai Lama about his experience in prison. And he told stories about all of the hardships that he encountered: beatings, starvation, loneliness, despair, and torture. At one point, the Dalai Lama stopped him and asked, "What was your greatest fear at that time while you were in prison?" The old monk paused for a moment, and then he said, "My greatest fear was this. I was afraid I would lose compassion for my captors." I didn't mean to cry this early on, y'all. I don't know, it just got me saying that in this space this morning. I was afraid I would lose compassion for my captors. So I've got some questions for us this morning. First of all, are you feeling imprisoned by something or someone in your life? Are you feeling captive? And if so, what is your greatest fear? Are you afraid of what is happening, the who or the what of it? Or maybe part of the struggle and part of the fear is your reaction, our reaction to what is happening. Perhaps fear or anger or sadness. And is it possible in all of this, whether you're reacting to what is or what you feel about what is it possible that compassion can free us? I believe it is possible. And I believe that compassion brings freedom. And while compassion may seem like it's meek and mild and lowly, I believe it's actually the strongest thing in the world, a strong paradoxical power for the omnipresent good that is always around us, a hidden wholeness in everything. So we move forward in the spirit of compassion. Now here's a story from my life. Every morning, my husband listens to classical music on YouTube while he eats his breakfast. I'm usually feeding our animals at that time. We have a lot of animals, and when I'm feeding my animals, I feel like I'm embroiled in a scaled-down version of Lord of the Flies. The animals are wrestling with each other, they're wrestling with me, they're climbing on the counter, they're always seeking food and demanding attention. But sometimes in the midst of this, I stop and I listen to the music. I actually hear the music that's in the background. The background becomes the foreground. And I stand in awe at the sound of Beethoven or Tchaikovsky or Brahms filling our house. And I ask myself, where was Beethoven while Beethoven was silent? Where was Beethoven while I was embroiled in my Lord of the Flies animal chaos? Where was the music while I endlessly listened to other music every day for a year, the soundtrack to Seven Brides and Seven Brothers, people, every day for a year? Where was Beethoven? Or where was Beethoven when I was listening to the insistent soundtrack in my head? The soundtrack of complaining or fear or worry. The truth about Beethoven and all great music is that it's always present. It's always waiting to be expressed. But I need to provide a channel for it. I need to be willing to hear it. I need to provide an instrument of expression. So music is energy. Literally, music is energy. It's sound waves that hit our eardrums and then go to our brain and get processed. It's energy. And the truth about compassion is that that is energy too. Compassion is like music. It is an energetic like music. Compassion, like music, is always present. It's in the air. It's hidden in our personal lives and in our politics. It's on social media. It's waiting in the wings of Fox News and MSNBC, waiting to express. It's hovering right beside annoying and difficult people. It hovers over the oppressed and the oppressors. And compassion is waiting. It is waiting, 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 waiting for an instrument. Compassion is like music in search of an instrument. It's waiting for something or someone to express it. And what if that instrument is you? What if that instrument is me? What if that instrument is all of us? What if we are called to turn off the fear channel and tune into the compassion channel, even when we're tempted to hate our circumstances or our captors? And what if this is our most important work at this time? Recently, I've been reading books by neuroscientist James Doty. James Doty is a neurosurgeon. He's an atheist, and he wrote 2 books. One is called Into the Magic Shop, and the other is called Mind Magic. I'm getting ready to teach a class on them starting at the end of April. And I've been studying up on his books because they're interesting, and I find them compelling. And, you know, he's a neuroscientist, and he's a neurosurgeon. He says he's an atheist, but I call him an atheist who doesn't believe in God. He doesn't know he believes in God. Sorry. He is an atheist who doesn't know he believes in God. He believes in the God that's on the top of the Sistine Chapel, right? The guy pointing the finger at Adam, right? He doesn't believe in that God, but he does believe in energy. He believes in the energy that surrounds us always and that moves through us. It is our life force. And Dr. Doty writes a lot about this thing that we all have called the sympathetic nervous system, the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn network. This nervous system is important for our survival. However, it is a little overactive at times. It tends to steal all of our attention, even when there's no real threat. The stories we make up in our heads about what could happen or what's going wrong, that's the sympathetic nervous system in action. But at the same time, hovering right beside the sympathetic nervous system, hovering like unheard music or unheard Beethoven, there is another branch of the nervous system that is equally as important and as powerful, and that is the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system. The neurons of this system inspire connection and compassion. And to make a really long story short, neuroscientists say that there is a biological imperative embedded in each of us towards compassion. Dr. Doty wrote, "It is survival of the kindest that ensures the survival of our species in the long term. We evolved to cooperate, to nurture and raise our young, and to thrive together for the benefit of all. This is part of our birthright, part of our purpose. We evolved to cooperate and to thrive together for the benefit of all." So what he's saying is that compassion is essential to life, and it waits for us to find it for ourselves, but also to find it for us, for all, for the benefit of all. And I know it is so easy to underestimate the power of compassion. You know, we say to ourselves things like, is compassion spiritual bypass? Is it pretending that everything's okay when it's not? Is it making nice? Is it sticking our head in the sand? I don't think those things are compassion. And also thinking back to the story about the imprisoned monk that I just told you, was the monk in the story when he said that his greatest fear was the possibility of losing compassion for his captors. Was that weak? Or was it incredibly powerful? Was it more powerful than what we can humanly understand? I would say the latter. I would say that the monk is powerful and that he demonstrated strength beyond our understanding. He understood that the only real prison is fear, and the only real freedom is freedom from fear. It's from Sharon Salzberg in A Heart as Wide as the World. The monk in the story also seemed to know that compassion has many powers, one of which is that it is a great antidote for fear. A few months ago, I was on a global Zoom call, and there was a preteen girl from India there on the call, and she was preparing to recite a poem in public for the first time. It was her first public speaking gig, and she was telling all of these grown-ups how scared she was to do it. She was afraid. She was afraid she would forget her lines, and she was afraid she would mess up in one way or another. Someone on the call asked me to offer advice about stage fright because I've been doing such things for quite a long time. As I like to say, I've been preaching since we were chiseling our sermons on stone tablets back in the day. And so I told this young girl about a time several years ago when I served as a co-MC for the Berkeley Buddhist Festival. And I was nervous about it. I hadn't done that kind of thing before. I'm not Buddhist. I felt like an imposter. And there was a large, unfamiliar audience. I didn't know if they would like me or not. And then, to top it all off, there were all of these bald-headed monks running around, scampering around. And I'm not anti-monk by any means, but people, I don't mean to profile, but they all looked alike. And I was supposed to keep track of them. So I was nervous. But then I discovered something that I told this preteen girl. And I told her the thing that gave me confidence was my activity off stage. I did my best to practice assertive kindness. I went out of my way to be kind with all of the players, all of the unsung heroes behind the stage, like the tech crew or the stage manager, and even the frisky monks that kept trying to get away. That way, by the time I stepped on stage, I just kept serving, and the energy of service followed me onto the stage and filled my heart with confidence. And looking back, reframing it in terms of compassion, I can see how compassion kept me strong and sane. I'm wondering for each of us sitting here today, if we up-level our casual yet assertive practice of kindness and compassion, will that help us in times when we're up against stress? Even the really, really difficult situations. Even when we're with really, really difficult people. Is it appropriate to extend compassion to them as well? I'm laughing because I don't want to. I want to say a word about extending compassion to people who might hurt us. Again, I say this every time I talk about this because I was raised to believe that it's okay to be a doormat, and it's not. Okay? We have to be clear about our definition of compassion, what it is and what it isn't. Compassion does not mean allowing people to mistreat you or to mistreat others. But again, I often and always use this metaphor of taking the keys away from a drunk driver. We wouldn't let somebody drive drunk, and we wouldn't let somebody run amok in uncompassionate actions. Bless you. If someone is in danger of doing harm, we firmly, kindly, clearly, metaphorically take the keys away. But we don't let the energy of the enemy allow us to become the enemy. I missed one. Dang it. Well, technical difficulties. We do not let the energy of the enemy allow you to become the enemy, and we don't perpetuate the problem. Instead, we stay strong and allow the energy of compassion to support us in passionate equanimity. Passionate equanimity, what is that? It is the commitment to staying grounded and poised and kind even in the midst of adversity. In my experience, this practice of compassion, even when I don't want to, and the practice of passionate equanimity, it aligns me with an invisible energy that supports me. And as I support myself, I support others with fantastic and appropriate boundaries. And this is powerful. Now, we're all different. And you may be asking, what does this look like in my life? What does it look like in practical terms? And all I can do is tell you about a situation in my life, my current experience. Again, it's one of those where I really don't want to express compassion. And my situation is trivial compared to what some people are going through, but it's often good to start small. Start with the thing right in front of you. Mother Teresa said, never worry about numbers. Help one person at a time, and always start with the person nearest you. I would even add to that, never worry about numbers. Help one person at a time, and always start with the person nearest you, even if they are working your last nerve. Again, this is trivial compared to some people, but I'm going to tell you about the underlying source of my angst. And I'll tell you about the situation in a minute. But what it's about is feeling like there is a lack of integrity, a complete lack of integrity, not feeling heard, and being falsely accused. Can you relate to that? Okay. Keep that in your heart and mind as I speak. My situation is that I was banned from Facebook. It's so embarrassing. I was banned from Facebook, and I can't get back on for the life of me. And the thing is, folks, is that I didn't do anything wrong, okay? This is about as wild as I get on Facebook. That's it. That is my cat, our cat, Batman, the male centerfold, okay? That's as wild as it gets for me. I don't post anything mean. I don't post anything hateful. I don't post anything political. All I do is post silly pet pictures for the most part, and occasionally an inspiring quote. But I got banned. I got banned, and they will not let me back on. And I have jumped through so many hoops, so many hoops to try and get back on. I even called somebody in Silicon Valley, a high-up person in Silicon Valley, who referred me to another Silicon Valley person. And I said to them, this is like asking the Surgeon General to clip my toenails, but please, can you help me get back on Facebook? They couldn't do it. I've tried so many strategies. And as I've been going through these strategies, I've noticed inner and outer voices complaining about Facebook, talking ugly about them, and planning revenge strategies. And I'm a little sad because I know Facebook can be an addictive mess. And I've participated in that at times. But I do like keeping up with my friends and my silly pet pictures. So far, up until maybe tomorrow, I haven't tried compassion for Facebook. Because they're wrong and I don't want to. But the other day, I thought back to a similar situation where I also did not want to express compassion. It was, 14, 15 years ago when I had a serious medical issue and I got billed $50,000 that I did not want to pay. I thought I was wrongly billed, but the insurance company was not budging. So I entered into a lengthy dispute with them, with a medical insurance company. I took all the earthbound steps I could to resolve the issue, and I blessed the insurance company many times a day. I said, I bless you, insurance company. I bless you, you little stinkers. Eventually, that energy of blessing softened, and eventually I won the dispute. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, goodness. So my plan with Facebook, starting probably tomorrow, is that I'm going to practice metta with metta. For those of you who may not be familiar with metta, M-E-T-T-A, it is a Buddhist loving-kindness meditation. And there are many different versions of it, but this is the one that I know because we sing a song about it in the church. May you be filled with loving kindness, Facebook. May you be well, Facebook. May you be peaceful and at ease, Mark Zuckerberg. May you be happy, AI. I will try and soften that up a bit. But it's my intention to practice metta, or blessing, and compassion with metta. So I'm going to ask you this morning, is something coming to mind for you? Is there something difficult in your life where you might be willing to send them metta or send them compassion? You know I'm the same way. Part of us wants to punish, and we think if we send loving kindness that the perpetrator will get away with something. But I think really what's happening is that when we practice compassion, we tap into an essential truth. And that essential truth is that every living being wants to be happy and free from suffering, even if they don't really know how to get there. even if they don't know how to get there in a way that supports all of us, that supports all beings everywhere, which is what we teach. And the other thing that I think I know about compassion is that beyond our personal senses of resentment or betrayal or whatever it is, not being heard, all of these things, I think secretly we want difficult people to be peaceful and happy and filled with loving kindness. Because, number one, it may inspire them to leave us alone, okay? There's that. But also there's this thing that you've probably heard, that hurt people, and healed people heal people. What if our compassion practice, quote unquote, doesn't work? What if it doesn't change that other person? In the situation I gave you about the medical insurance company, it did work in earthbound terms. I got the money back. I'm not sure what's going to happen with Facebook. I've talked to people who know so much more about this than I do, who have never been able to get back on. What if our personal compassion practice doesn't work, meaning we don't get the result that we think we want? That causes me to think about the Dalai Lama, who is extending compassion to the Chinese, people who have hurt his native country and his friends and hurt him, I'm sure. And is that situation fixed? On a material level, on an earthbound level, maybe not. And I'm willing to bet that as holy as he is, the Dalai Lama wants a certain result. But is he practicing compassion for the result? Or is he practicing compassion for the sake of greater compassion as the true result? Compassion for the sake of compassion. We don't always get the desired material result of our practice, but I'm pretty sure the Dalai Lama is exactly where he needs to be to have the most impact for compassion in the world. And beyond fixing China and Tibet, I suspect that's what he really wants, to have an impact and a blessing on the world. And maybe this is true for all of us. Maybe all of us harbor a secret, sacred longing for compassion for all beings. We want that music of compassion that I spoke about before to play to and through all of us. So we do the work anyway. We do the work of compassion without the attachment to particular results. We can want what we want, but we do the work of compassion with non-attachment. So, with whatever is happening in your life right now, whatever is happening in your life right now, no matter how trivial or how big it may seem to be, no matter who is annoying you, who is getting on your last nerve, who is causing you stress and harm, will you remember that fear and lack of compassion are the real perpetrators here? Will you consider being like that monk in the story I told at the beginning? And will you remember with me that compassion is like that beautiful music, like that beautiful Beethoven looking for an instrument? And that instrument is you. It is all of us. And will you remember that perfect compassion casts out fear? And will you also consider sending all beings metta? But bump. Loving kindness. Even the really difficult ones. Now it's time to drop something, people, okay? Here's my sincere belief. I believe that if we practice together, particularly as we practice in community, that our hearts joined together are powerful. And I believe, at the very least, you can change my heart and I can change your heart. We can all change our hearts together. And at the very most, we can change the world with our loving kindness and our compassionate practice. The powerful practice of compassion is real, people. It is waiting to be expressed through each of us. It is like music waiting for an instrument, and we are that instrument. Let's play that instrument now, and let us pray. So turning together, turning within in the spirit of hope and healing, let us trust and know that there is one perfect life And that life is the life of spirit. That life is compassion. That life is the music of the spheres. That life is for all of us, in all of us, as all of us. And so we unify with that life right here and right now. We allow it to fill our being. It fills our hearts. It fills our minds. It fills our actions. We are the life of compassion expressing here on the planet Earth, right here, right now. And we know that compassion needs to be received. It needs to be invited. We know that we need to practice self-compassion as we practice compassion for others. For truly there is only one of us. And as we are compassionate to ourselves, we are compassionate to all beings. And as we are compassionate to all beings, we are compassionate to ourselves. And so together in the spirit of compassion, let us take a moment to practice that self-compassion. Let us breathe in and breathe out. Let us feel the energy of our heart. And feel any place within you that might be afraid or forlorn or forsaken. Any place that might be concerned or worried. Any place that feels like it wants to be healed. Any place where you are criticizing yourself or judging yourself. And take a moment to be like the sun, like music, washing over that beautiful place in yourself that is longing for attention, that is wanting to be heard and healed. Breathe in, allow it to be. And say, I love you. I love you too. And then continue to breathe and allow that compassion to grow. And allow that compassion to radiate outwards, emanating to all beings everywhere, expressing and allowing compassion to flow through you, a source beyond our knowing, moving outwards and encircling the entire world. People that we love, our loved ones, our beloved animals, the people that we don't even know, the people that we struggle with. Let us allow a bit more compassion into the world, moving through us as we are that instrument longing to be played. And in the spirit of compassion, we know that there is the capacity for real transformation, for real hope, for real joy. We anchor into the compassionate power, the power of this beautiful, beautiful essence that has been given to us simply because we are here, that is available to all of us. And we know, we have faith, we trust in the power of compassion to open our hearts and to open the hearts of everyone, to bring healing and peace and love and joy to all beings everywhere. We breathe into the awareness of that. We breathe into our trust. We breathe into our knowing. We breathe into the power of compassion, and we allow it to be. We allow compassion to use us as we make ourselves available to us. We allow compassion to fill us and to radiate outwards. We allow compassion to bless all beings everywhere. I am so grateful for this spiritual teaching, so grateful for the gift of compassion that expresses through each of us, so grateful for divine love, so grateful for being. I bless every single person sitting in this sanctuary, knowing that our hearts are uplifted, that our lives are uplifted, and that we are here doing the work of compassion in the world. I give thanks. I give thanks for this time together. I give thanks for the transformation that has occurred and is occurring right now. I bless this path to God as I bless all paths to God. Churches, synagogues, temples, mosques, ashrams, gurdwaras, all paths, all blessedness. And with a heart that is so filled with blessedness, I release these words into the divine mystery. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you. Hello.
Thank you, Bonnie.
My pleasure. Thank you.
It really makes me think of how transactional we are.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah.
I know. I'm talking about myself,
Yeah.
honestly. Yeah. I haven't been kicked off Facebook.
Okay.
But I love when you say when we're trying something new like compassion or loving kindness, like start small. So my starting small was with Bernie this morning, when I thought the most compassionate thing that she could do would sub for me today, because I didn't really want to be standing up here with this silly crown that I had bought for Miss Carol, and now she's making me wear it. And you know, Bernie said no. No. I didn't think that was very compassionate.
Yeah, way to call out Bernie, right?
know.
That's awesome.
But what it did is like it made me get up here and just see so many people that I love and so many beautiful hearts. And I know that Bernie loves me and that her no was really a yes to the beauty that I see here before me. So
Absolutely.
we get to practice in so many ways. Bernie's available later if you want to practice with her. So this morning, in the joy of compassion, I invite you to share the offering prayer with me, and we'll say it together. We trust in spirit.
Love is the giver and receiver of all that we are. We offer these gifts. They are an outer expression of our inner abundance and compassion.
Our gifts bless many and return to us multiplied in miraculous ways, so that we may give again. And so it is.
Thank you, Lori. That's so beautiful. Lori has CDs for sale in the social hall, so if you want to take her lovely music with you, there's home today. If you want to just talk to her, she'll be right through those doors at a table. So everything I'm going to talk about on these announcements are on our website at www.venturacsl.org. I skipped ahead. I'm Reverend Jennifer. I'm the assistant minister here. I should be awake by now, right? It's a normal time to be awake. So I'm got a few announcements to make about some upcoming workshops and classes. So we have Make Your Own Name Tag, Sunday, March 16th at 11:30 to 2 p.m. or Wednesday, March 26th from 6 p.m. to 8:30. And that is facilitated by Dave Fatika. He's sitting right here. He's got the cool name tag on. He's supplying all of the supplies and everything, so we have a sign-up sheet for it, so he knows how much to bring. And if you have any questions, please talk to David. He's amazing, and it's going to be so fun to have everybody make their own fun name tags. The next workshop is a Self-Hypnosis for Success workshop. That is a 1-hour workshop, March 23rd. It's from 1 to 2 p.m., so that's Sunday, so it'll be after service. So go get lunch and come back. And that's facilitated by Shelley Ealer. The price is $50, and her workshops are really amazing. She gives you all sorts of insightful tools to take home and to practice with and use while you are, some of her stuff is wake up, some stuff's going to sleep. So she's really, really informative. She packs a lot into a 1-hour workshop. So if you haven't taken one, you definitely want to sign up for that. We have a class coming up. It's called Living in the Now. It is a 4-week class. It starts March 20th, Thursday, March 20th, and that class is facilitated by Bill and Susan Seal. They are in the back of the sanctuary. The class is called Living in the Now. It's based on the book The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, and you don't want to miss this growth opportunity. It is priceless pricing. So talk to Bill and Susan after service if you have any questions. This month, we are doing sign-ups for the Gourmets for God fundraiser. So the Gourmets for God fundraiser is our largest fundraiser that we do here at VCSL every year. And I like to call it a fundraiser because it's a fun way for everybody to get out into our own community, but out into our own community out there, out in real life, and meet with each other, share food, or share a hobby, or share an interest, or share a movie, or whatever you want it to do. It can be as big or as small as you want. So we're doing host signups right now. So everybody who's hosted a party, raise your hand. So those of you who are thinking about hosting a party, you can do it. You will survive. You will live to tell the tale. It is so much fun. So all those people that had their hands up, if you have questions about what it is and what it's like to host a party, talk to somebody who had their hand up. I am filling in for Jen Luce and Kathy Walker. They're both out this week, so I'll be at the table to discuss hosts and things and sign-ups and everything. But normally you would talk to Jen or Kathy. But talk to me or Bernie, who showed me great compassion today, people. Bernie is going to be helping me at the Gourmets for God tables. So Bernie is just on a roll today. On top of all of that, we have more stuff back here in the social hall. Sorry, everybody at home. If you're still here, go get your coffee, get your cookies. But we have hospitality behind these doors, so we have cookies and coffee and hummus and vegetables and all sorts of goodies. I hear a rumor somebody might have brought muffins today. Banana muffin, I'm excited. I'm a sugar fiend, and we have a bookstore, which is also something that's really near and dear to my heart, because I'm a book fiend too. So we have a bookstore also in the social halls. So get a snack, buy a book, sign up to host a party, sign up to take a class, all sorts of fun things to do after service. And we have an extra hour to fill today before the sun sets. So let's go. Let's get out of here. All right. So with that, let's just do our closing affirmation together. Oh, that's what she meant. I thought she was giving me the stop talking sign, but she was actually reminding me that we can have prayer with a practitioner down here. So anybody in the white stoles will be down here in front of the sanctuary. So if you have any anything that's coming up with this compassion and you would like prayer for, please pray with one of our practitioners down here. They love to pray with you. And so on that, I'm like, okay, I'll hurry up. I need prayer. All right, with that, let's do a closing affirmation together. With loving kindness for ourselves and others, we choose to be love, to share love, to serve love. Thank you for our lives. And so it is. Thank you, everybody. Namaste.